Interest rates are now near 23-year high. How does this affect the Omaha real estate market? Where are home prices as we move into the fall season? That and more are in today's video, and we're going to get started right now. Let's start with an item that's on everyone's mind at the moment, and that is mortgage interest rates. The 30-year mortgage interest rate is closing in on 8%. This is a 23-year high for mortgage interest rates. Let's look back a few years back. In October of 2021, mortgage interest rates were just over 3%. What has this done to demand? It has killed off demand. Fewer buyers can buy because so many buyers are now priced out of the market. For example, let's take a $400,000 home in Omaha, Nebraska. In 2021, when interest rates were at 3%, what would be your monthly payment? So we start with a purchase price of $400,000. We're coming in with 20% down payment, a loan amount of $320,000. Your monthly payment at 3%, and this is principal and interest, would be $1,349.13. Now in 2023, with a purchase price of $400,000, with 20% down payment, with a loan amount of $320,000, your monthly payment, and this is just principal and interest at 8%, would be $2,348.05. Remember, this is only principal and interest. We also have taxes and insurance too. That's not included in this calculation. Taxes are going to go up, and so has homeowners insurance. When we see payments increase like this, that means fewer buyers are out there buying, especially move-up buyers, because if you have a home with a 3% interest rate, you're not going to be inspired to move and buy a bigger home at a higher interest rate. There is a real estate market out there, and buyers are buying. Now, who are the buyers out there buying? Now, those are a big chunk of the current market are buyers who are relocating to another market. Now, speaking of buying and selling, my name is David Matney with Nebraska Realty, and I'm a local realtor here in Omaha, Nebraska. If you're buying or selling and need assistance, my contact information is in the description below. Again, this is a have-to market. Only the buyers and sellers who have to buy or sell are the ones out there buying and selling. In other words, it's a life event market. People who are getting married, people who are getting divorced, people passing away, and people who are relocating. And again, it's only the most qualified who have not been priced out of the market who are out there buying. Those are the people that can still afford to buy a home. To give you some idea of how nice rates were for so long, let's look at mortgage interest rates for the past 50 years. This is the 30-year fixed rate average in the United States. The chart is from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Now, what's interesting is the vertical gray bars on this chart represent recessions. Many times after a recession, you'll see mortgage interest rates drop in order to stimulate the economy. Now, if we do go into recession, there's a good chance that interest rates will drop. A couple of things. Make sure you can afford to buy the home. And 2, prepare for a rainy day. Save some money just in case you fall under hard times. Now, what's happening with home prices? Now, this is the median closed sale price for the last 3 years. The median sale price was up 4.1% compared to 2022. The median closed price for the month of September was $307,000. Now, hey, do me a favor at this time, if you think home prices are going to continue to go up, go ahead and hit that like button. Now let's look at home prices over the past 5 years, and what you'll see is month-to-month fluctuations. But what you're going to notice is during the summer months, you're going to see a peak, and then as you go into fall, its prices start to decrease, and that's just simply seasonality, because what happens, the larger homes get sold in the summer months. People with large families buy large homes, and those tend to close in the summertime. So what will happen is home prices will peak in the summer and then taper off in the fall and then ramp back up in the spring. But as you look at this chart, you're going to see the peaks. Those are the summer months. Now let's look at the number of closed sales during the month of September, and you'll see that sales were down 15.5% compared to 2022. And that's just simply because as interest rates increase, there are more buyers sitting on the sidelines, so fewer homes are sold. Now, what's interesting about this chart, this is looking at seasonality. This is closed sales over the past 5 years. And again, what you're going to see is the peak are the summer months. The most number of homes that are sold during the summer. And then what happens as fall comes into play, sales decrease. And then it bottoms out in the wintertime. Now, if you look at this graph, you're going to see that the peak in 2023 during the summer months, we didn't break 1,200 homes during the summer months. And then you're going to see the peak just wasn't as high, just simply because we haven't sold as many homes. Now, keep in mind, this is artificial suppression. This is suppression by interest rates. Buyers are still out there and they want to buy, but they just can't because interest rates are keeping fewer buyers on the sidelines. All right, let's talk about inventory for the month of September. And you're going to see in this chart that in the past 3 years, we've seen inventory increase. Now, in 2023, inventory was up 14.1% compared to 2022. Now, as inventory increases, that's a good thing because more inventory means buyers have more to choose from. And as inventory increases, buyers are able to do their due diligence in terms of home inspections. Now, if you're buying a home in the Omaha market, keep in mind the way our contract is written, you have 14 days to do any and all inspections. And if you follow this channel for any length of time, you know that I'm a big fan of sewer scope inspections. But you want to be strategic. If you're going to do a sewer scope, do that inspection first. That way, if that inspection is bad, then that way you save money on the whole house inspection because you don't get to that part. How does inventory look over the past 5 years? Inventory is moving in the right direction if you're a buyer. Now, if you're a seller, you got to realize that we're not in the market that we were in a few years ago. That also means you're starting to see seller concessions. Now, for example, what a buyer can do is they can ask the seller for a seller concession where the buyer could use those funds to buy down their interest rate. Now, if you want to learn more about a 2-1 buy down, I'll leave a link in the description below. Let's look at the average days on market for Douglas and Sarpy County over the past 3 years. And what you're seeing is that homes are staying on the market a little bit longer. The average days on market for Douglas and Sarpy County is 16 days on the market. And that's up 33.3% compared to 2022. Now let's look at the average days on market over the past 10 years in Douglas and Sarpy County. And what you can see is even though the average days on market has increased, it's nothing to where we were 9-10 years ago. Let's look at the months of supply of homes on the market. And what you're going to see, and this is going back the last 10 years. And you can see where during the pandemic years, we had very low inventory and very little supply on the market. But you're starting to see inventory increase, and we're starting to look like the years of 2017, 2018, and 2019. Now, even though there's more homes on the market, inventory is increasing, we're still seeing homes sell relatively quickly. What about the price of lumber? Now, lumber has settled back down. The chart shows the price of lumber over the past 10 years. It shows that the price spike during the pandemic and how prices have stabilized since then. Lumber is right around $489 for 1,000 board feet. Let's talk about unemployment. Now, the unemployment rate in the United States ticked up just a tad compared to 2022. The current unemployment rate in the United States is 3.9%. Now let's look at Douglas and Sarpy County. The unemployment rate in Douglas County is currently 2.2% compared to 2.8% in 2022. Unemployment rate in Sarpy County is currently at 1.9% compared to 2.4% last year. Now, Omaha continues to be a great place for jobs. It's interesting to see how the numbers drop like that. I wonder if it's an indication that the people who have to start paying back their college loans, if they're out there, finding jobs, which means that's why unemployment rate is dropping in the Midwest.